So I've had a couple of people ask me if I could showcase how to deal with mixed hordes, as in hordes with elites and berserkers on them, so that's what this video is going to be. It's going to be very similar to the video that I made before on how to deal with hordes by yourself. It's simply going to be me in the modded realm with no specials of any kind, just me and the horde, as well as being able to use anything to my advantage in order to fight the horde. So now the first thing we're going to do right here before the horde comes is we're going to survey our surroundings, and we are going to understand what we have with us to fight the horde. I don't know why that's there. So first, let's look at who we are. We're playing Battle Wizard, so we have a teleport. I took Firewalk, so we have a double teleport in order to help us get out of situations. We also have Bolt Staff. And I also took Famished Flames, so we have essentially one-shot elite killing potential, which is really, really good. We have one normal bomb down here. We also have a med kit. We have healing and we have a bomb. We don't have a potion, but that's okay. We're going to be able to do fine. Right here, there's a bomb. There is a bomb, a fire bomb specifically right there that I need to keep in mind. And there is also, it's hard to see, but there is also an explosive barrel right here. Those are all very important things to help us fight the horde, and they will all help us survive. Now, let's also look at our environment. What in our environment can help us survive this upcoming horde? First, I see a drop down. Remember, being able to force enemies into a waterfall animation is very, very good in this game, and it is or one of, if not the most important thing while soloing a horde and kiting a horde. You want to force them to drop down in order to get free damage on them and in order to gain distance on them if you need to get distance. Also, remember from my stagger video, Remember from the stagger video, I said that any enemy who is locked in a dropping animation is automatically considered in stage 2 stagger, so they take extra damage. So when enemies are dropping down in a waterfall, it is a perfect opportunity to throw a bomb or get some free damage in. This entire fountain right here is also a very, very good place to be. For some reason, jumping inside and out of it breaks the AI of the horde, so you can get like a little reprieve from the horde, get some free damage in there. But keep in mind, it will not break the AI of bosses, specials, or elites. Basically, anyone who can actually reach you with their weapons. And then, you can't see it from here, but there's also a ladder that leads up and will actually lead to a very, very good kiting path that you'll see here shortly. So now that we understand what we have in our environment and what we have at our disposal, we can start formulating a plan. So the plan that I formulated in my head was that I was going to stand here and I was going to get as much of the horde here as I could. And then I am going to attempt to waterfall them down, run this way, up the ladder, and then I'm going to kite this way, and then I'm basically going to circle, and then I'm going to drop again. And that is going to be my main kiting path. And I'm going to be working in damage whenever I possibly can, using my teleport as a get-out-of-jail-free card, or as a panic button, or as a DPS enhancer, whichever I needed at the time. So now I do know that there's a Skaven horde coming. At the time, I didn't know what's coming, but I know Stormvermin are coming now, but at the time I didn't know what was coming, so I'm chilling up here thinking to myself, what's coming? And I turn to the right, and I see, oh look, there's a Stormvermin. So I'm going to immediately teleport my way down. At that point, I decided to abandon my jumping down strategy because there were already too many here, so I just decided to teleport and get here, and I'm going to jump on top of the fountain to buy myself some time real quick. And we are going to immediately run to the ladder, like I said, in order to start forcing them into climbing animations so I can slow them down. Now, unfortunately, there are too many, so you can't all get them into a perfect line, so I have to fight my way out of here, which I'm going to do by sticking my back against the wall and pushing to the right. And at this point, I'm going to teleport in the horde and try to bomb it to kill some elites, which was kind of a two-head play, not going to lie, because I should have gathered them up and bombed them like right here. Then I also have another two-head moment, and I forget how to get up this wagon, but I'm able to do it just fine. So now I forced them to drop, remember? I forced them to drop so I was able to get a free hit on one of the Stormvermin. And at this point, since I used my bomb, I'm going to pick up this fire bomb, and I'm going to light this fire barrel to my left over here, or this explosive barrel. And I'm going to try to keep them as close to the barrel as I possibly can in order to get the maximum damage possible from the barrel. That boom, and it kills a shit ton of them. And at this point, all I have to really do is just kind of clear up the rest of the horde. So I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna be staggering them. I'm gonna be pushing. At this point, I know that the horde is over. There's no more coming, so I can use my ult freely. And I'm going to use my Famished Flame Bolt Staff, or my Volcanic Force Bolt Staff in order to just finish off the rest of them. And that was the first horde. So to take away, always, can you get to a more? Damn it! Technical difficulties. Okay, this will do. So, first and foremost, always survey your surroundings and see what you can use in your environment to assist you. So here you can use the drop down, you can use the fountain, and you can use the ladder over here to help you kite. If you desperately need it, if things get too out of control, you can use this drop down right here to advance to the next area. But at that point, you're pulling more ambience and probably more elites, so you do need to be careful with that. So let's go ahead and skip to the second horde. So the second horde, the event here, this first horde really isn't too much of a problem because it's just simple trash and shields, so there's really not much to say about this. I'm just trying to stagger them, trying to avoid taking too many hits. I don't want to use my ult here because I want to save it for when I desperately need it. Damn, this tea is good. I brew my own tea now, so I'm kind of a teaholic. So we're about to wrap up with the first trash horde here, and this is when the actual elites start coming. So remember, the first thing we want to do is technically I did this when I first walked into the arena before I hit the center wheel. But right now, let's go ahead and go through what we have here to work with. Now, unfortunately, I did a sweep of the entire arena. There is absolutely nothing in this arena to help me, except two things. This healing potion and this strength potion. Those are the only things in the arena that are there to help me. Now, I take that back. There is one healing potion to the right, which I will pick up later on, which you will see. But other than those three things, 2 healing potions and a strength potion, there's nothing else in this arena. Now, there are 2 points to use. There's only one drop-down point to use, and that's this area right here. So I'm going to be waterfalling them off here a lot, which is also what you would want to do. You want to lead them up around the side of the stairs, also behind you, and then you want to either drop down on the stairs or you want to drop down here and force them to waterfall down. And then there is also the center platform, which can be used to jump over enemies if you desperately need it, but that is a little risky. But other than that, there's really not too much in this arena to use. So first, we're going to be using our range to take out as many elites as we can to make this easier. Now, at this point, I didn't know there were berserkers, but now I'm like, oh shit, there are berserkers. So I get my block broken by the berserker because I didn't expect berserkers in this wave. So I get my block broken, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. There's enemies to my left, there's enemies to my right. I'm teleporting, goodbye. So I'm now going to once more use my range to try to pick out as many of the more dangerous enemies as I can. And at this point, I don't really need to be doing too much big damage, so I'm just going to continuously stagger them, trying to pick out the berserker as much as I can. I'm playing it safe here by just doing the sweep attack, because I don't want to eat a hit, but I do anyway, so I decide to teleport to kind of take them out, because I also do see some shields in there. Now that is the end of the first wave. I didn't really need to use the drop down too much, because there was only 2 berserkers, both of which got a hit on me, sadly. But I'm going to just immediately drink, because I hear Stormvermin coming, and all of a sudden there is a bunch of Stormvermin. So I'm going to pick off some of them as much as I can, and I'm going to back up. And at this point, I know... I hear Sienna at this point. I hear Sienna say that there's Plague Rats coming, so I'm going to book it to this area over here. I'm going to book it over to the drop-down, because I want to use the drop-down to my advantage. Because with all of these elites and berserkers and everything, it's too dangerous. So I'm going to drop them down. I'm going to try to get as many up here as I possibly can, and I'm going to drop down and I'm going to throw my firebomb. Because I definitely want, this is definitely a good time to use my firebomb. Get them all clumped up, and then throw the firebomb to keep them in the fire. But unfortunately, I get shoved out of my firebomb, so I have to do it again. and I throw it, and then I stand in the center of the fire, kind of dodging around to avoid hits, but I'm trying to get the fire to kill as many of them as I can. I get my block broken right there, and I immediately teleport, and then I drink my strength potion. Now, something to say about this situation is I get my block broken, and I teleport. That was good. Whenever you get your block broken with berserkers around, you need to get out of that situation as fast as you can, because they will delete you. This right here, this potion drink, wasn't a great idea. Why? You'll see as I drink my potion and I start getting some shots in, but I immediately have the horde on me again, and I end up having to block. And I end up having to go back to melee, and I have to take away I have to put away my ranged and take out my melee. If I wanted to get a better use of my strength potion, I should have waited until my ult was up again, teleported once, drank it, started firing my volcanic staff to get rid of the elites and the monks, and then teleport a second time when they're too close to me to get some more distance so I can continue throwing bolts. So all in all, this wasn't the best use of the strength pot, but it's not the worst, because strength pot also does affect the fire dots that Sienna does. So I am still getting, a little bit of extra damage in there. So at this point, we have a massive horde coming of mostly just commons. I get hit, and I realize, okay, I have my ult up, so I'm going to keep backing up. I'm going to try to get some normal hits in. And at this point, I think to myself, okay, right here, I think to myself, okay, I can lead them up this way. And what I want to do is I want to clump all these enemies up and lead them up this way so I can volcanic force them down with my fire staff. If I keep enough distance, they're not going to be able to get to me, and I'm just going to be able to fire them down. However, that's thwarted by this little shit right here. I did not see this Chaos Berserker when I was doing this. I did not notice him. So if I noticed him, I wouldn't have done this, because he can do that leap attack, which he actually does to get me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get them all here. And as you can see, he starts his leap attack. And at this point, I'm like, oh shit, there's a Berserker in there. And I eat a hit, and I end up having to cancel that and teleport away. And at this point, I'd already used my healing potion, so I teleport to this healing potion because I don't want to die. So I'm going to teleport so I can drink it, and I'm going to start trying to kill some of the general horde as fast as I can. And then we're going back into our melee in order to get some free damage in. And at this point, we have another horde coming in. I don't remember if this one has Chaos Berserkers in it. So right here, I am going to use... my goal right now is to get back to here. I want to get back to here so I can once more waterfall them off this way. However, I realize there is a horde coming from here, there is a Chaos Berserker here, and then there's also a horde coming from the right. So I can't just, take some mundane means like go up there or go up there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use this little lip right here, and I'm going to use it to jump over them. I'm going to try to get them at the very bottom, and I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to jump over them. Remember, fighting hordes like this, fighting hordes with a bunch of berserkers and storm vermin and chaos warriors and anything, the biggest thing is not only understanding what you have at your disposal as a class and as a character, but also understanding what's in your environment. What can your environment do to help you defeat this horde? And that's what I'm doing here. I'm using my environment to my advantage. So here, I'm going to do that. I wanted to do that same thing again, but then I immediately turn around to check, and I see I'm getting flanked from the side, so I can't bunch them up like I wanted to, so I'm going to just kind of push my way to the left. And at this point, I don't really remember what happens. Oh yeah, I get a free hit in. I want to kill that Storm Vermin, which I do in a free Mauler as well. And at this point, I see, okay, they're actually starting to kind of, group up here. There's still some over here, but for the most part, they're getting over here. So what I'm going to do, I think if this is the right part, I'm actually going to start staying in here. And I'm going to stay in this direction, and I want to kind of group them up in this hallway so I can just burst them down with my ranged, which I start doing. I have to kind of switch because there are too many of them, and there are some still Chaos Berserkers in here, which is a little bit of a problem. Like right there, he gets a hit on me because I wasn't able to charge up my Volcanic Force fast enough. But yeah, at this point, I have the horde pretty much under control. I don't have to worry too much. I still definitely want to get my Volcanic Force Bolt Staff shots off whenever I can. But for the most part, this is just applying some dots and just being very careful. And at that point, I was able to get them all in a... whoops. Excuse me. At this point, something... You could have continued up the right and, you know, waterfall them off the edge, but something that I decided to do was that I knew there hadn't been a horde in a while. I didn't think another horde was coming for a while either, so I said to myself, I have my ultimate, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them all up about right here. I'm going to group them up in front of me, and I'm going to teleport out in order to stagger as many of them as I can and catch them on fire. And then I'm going to, you know, start using my ranged again. Because I want to kill the trash. Now, actually, I should point out what happened there. Something pretty bad happened there. My goal with this was to kill the trash. I wanted the trash to die so I could kill the berserkers and the elites a lot easier. Now, remember, with Burnout, I make a huge mistake here. Remember, with Burnout, it's kind of hard to see, but with Burnout, you have, I think it's 10 seconds until your second teleport goes away. And right here, I'm not paying attention. And I have about a couple of seconds left, and I still haven't teleported. And about right now, it's actually so close. If you watch the bottom right, so when I flick upwards, every single time I teleport, I flick upwards instinctively to get as much distance from the teleport as I possibly can. And as you can see, I flick upwards to teleport just as the teleport runs out, which is why I kind of stand there for a second, because I expect myself to teleport, and I put myself into a horrible situation. I have my block broken, I have this storm vermin coming to attack me, I have a berserker, I think, to my left attacking me, I have the hordes surrounding me. I'm in a god-awful position, and I have no way to get out. But thank God I'm able to somehow get out of it. I should have died right there, because I wasn't paying attention to my teleport. So, remember kids, always pay attention to your teleport. But at this point, I was able to get my temp health back pretty quick. Not that big of a deal. And at this point, I decide to teleport again. And at this point, I'm very carefully watching my teleport. That teleport also wasn't that great because I put myself in the middle of a bunch of berserkers. Now, this is exactly what I was talking about before. Right here, I'm getting them all. They're all perfectly filing into a line up the stairs, which is when I'm going to pull out my bolt staff and kill them. Remember, the entire goal of soloing a horde is to use your environment to your advantage, but also control the horde in such a way that you always have control of the horde, and the horde doesn't have control of you. So right here, I'm using my environment to my advantage. These stairs, these narrow stairs that only go, you know, this far. And I'm using these stairs to my advantage to force the horde into a position where I can control them super, super easily. And as you can see, I get quite a bit of kills of trash. I get some really good berserker kills right there. I suddenly have the a Skaven horde teleport behind me. Almost nothing personal, kid me. I want to kill that berserker right there, but I miss. So I decide to teleport to the other side to kill off the rest of the trash. Top right, I end up burning the berserker to death. And that is, oh, there's one berserker, but he's fucking dead. And that is Sienna. This next horde there's no elites in here, it's just a trash horde, but yeah, that is Sienna. So with Sienna, we took a high mobility, high dodge character with infinite range against a horde. But this time we're going to take a low dodge character with a limited range, Marcus Kruber. So this is going to require a different approach, and so as you can see, I'm going to first get overwhelmed, and I'm going to immediately use that drop down to my advantage, and I'm going to book it to this ladder, as I did last time. I just kind of threw a quick attack there to stagger the ones that were closest to me, and I'm going to climb up this ladder, and I'm going to very quickly start the kiting pattern. I'm using my range to pick off as many elites as I can, as many of the storm vermin, and I do get stuck right here, but I am able to shout to save myself. And I'm going to continuously just use my range to get as much damage as I possibly can. Now, at this point, what I do is I'm going to jump on this ladder. I'm going to bait as many to climb up and attack me as I can so I can jump down and get as much distance on them as possible. So I can get some free attacks in again, and I can continue doing this loop endlessly. As you can see, I only have 7 bullets left, so not that much. and I think I use the rest of it here, but I actually crit and I get some bullets back. But I am going to kind of fight my way through with some melee. I get stuck, sadly, and I eat a hit. But I am able to reload. I don't know if I got that reload off. But as you can see, I'm doing the same pattern. I'm using my environment to my advantage. Specifically with this loadout that I'm with this loadout that I'm running, specifically with Kruber with one-handed or with Executioner Sword, I don't have mobility. I have a shout, yes, but I have very, very little mobility. So I have to use my environment much, much more in order to fight my way through, in order to survive these hordes. Now, at this point, I realized that there weren't too many Stormvermin left, so I just decided to push into them, and I decided to try to kill them as much as I can. There is this one Stormvermin who is surviving a bit more than I wanted him to, but I'm able to keep him staggered with light attack headshots. Something with the Executioner Sword that you should know is that the light attack still has very, very good cleave and very, very good damage. So if you desperately need to, you can just left-click against a Stormvermin, 1 or 2, and as long as you hit the head, you might stagger them, and you'll cleave through, and you'll do a decent amount of damage to them. Same thing with Berserkers, as you'll see here in a second. So let's skip ahead. This is kind of the trash horde. You know, the first horde where nothing really important happens, so we'll just skip it, or we'll find wherever it is. And then this is where the Armored comes in. Now, I was expecting, as you saw, there's actually a Stormvermin right there. There is a Stormvermin. Yeah, there's a Stormvermin who kind of appeared at the edge of my vision, and I expected him to, I expected this guy to run up this way, but as you see, he actually kind of debates me, and he runs up here, so I end up wasting an entire clip on him. So at this point, I don't know how many there are, so I'm just going to immediately drink my Strength Potion to kind of get some distance on them, and I definitely want to start killing as many of these elites as I can. Now, unfortunately, the elites don't push me that much. They're pretty slow, so I don't get a single kill here, do I? Yeah, no, I don't get a single elite kill, which is very unfortunate. But it doesn't really matter because I'm able to keep the horde staggered. It's not that big of a deal. I'm able to, I think what happened right there, now that I look back on it, I haven't looked at this footage too much. I'm pretty sure like what happened right here. So you can see the Stormvermin right here. So I expected him to push me, but I think all of these slots were filled by the already attacking trash enemies. So he wasn't able to push up, which I was hoping he was, so I could, you know, just kill him and outright and be done with it. But at that point, I shout so I have some time to reload. And I just continue left-clicking into the horde because there's only one Stormvermin. He's still not pushing me. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm able to finally just heavy him and be done with it. And that is the first horde, and the second horde is coming, and this is the Stormvermin wave, so I'm going to use my ranged once more to pick off as many as I possibly can. I'm hoping to get a crit here to kill one of them, but sadly I don't, but I do kill one, which is okay, and right there, I hear that there are monks coming to my left, so I say okay, and I turn around and to see where they're coming from, and my eyes lock with this potion right here, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, I know what I'm doing. So my goal, even if this wasn't here, if we pretend this wasn't here and pretend that there's nothing there, my strategy would be to push along this wall and to jump over this table and to continue along to get back to the drop down so I can endlessly ledge them, which is what you have to rely on when you're a low dodge character. You have to endlessly ledge them in order to not become overwhelmed by enemies. So, but here, oops. But here we have a conch pot, so I'm going to push my way to the conch pot. I have my shout up, so I jump on top of the table, I shout, and I immediately drink. And I start getting some damage in with my ranged. Now here, unfortunately, I run out of ammo. And I make a pretty decent sized mistake here. So my goal right now is I am going to run up here. I'm going to use the rest of my concoction potion, still half left, and I am going to run up here, and I'm going to use the rest of my concoction to get more ammo to take out the horde. However, halfway through, I think to myself, actually, no, I shouldn't do that. I should get into the horde. I should get into the horde, and I should shove them back. I should get into the horde, shove them back, and try to take out as many of them as I can. And as you can see, I kind of have a few moments of indecision here. I start pushing up, and then I I don't really do much. And so that's another thing. Always have a plan in mind and stick to it. My brief indecision on what to do wasted the rest of that conch pot, and I ended up just not really doing anything worthwhile, which doesn't really help my situation, obviously. Now here, there's so many monks. As you can see, there's a shit ton of monks right here, and there's also some stormvermin back there. There's a monk, and I don't know what the hell this monk's doing. But as you can see, there's a bunch of monks in front of me, and something with monks and berserkers both is that because they're unarmored, you can honestly, especially with Executioner's Sword, you can just left-click them. You don't have to heavy attack them. So you're going to see me do a bunch of just simple light attacks in order to get some free damage in. Now, as you can see, I'm using this little area right here to ledge them. Because even though this is a super tiny ledge, they still have to go through a brief drop-down animation with that Stormvermin right there. He still has to go through a very brief drop-down animation through right here, or they need to walk around this, which is what these monks did, which bought me, as you can see, some time. So always remember to ledge them whenever possible. And like this thing right here can also ledge, and of course the thing behind can ledge as well. So, and like I said before, with a low dodge character like Kruber, with a low dodge weapon like Executioner Sword, you need to basically stay at areas where you can ledge them at all times. And right here, I try to jump up, but I'm able to squeeze around at the last second. I kind of get caught by the monks, so I decide to drop. I shout and I drop to save myself. And I am fighting back up to the right to ledge them again, because like I said, you got to endlessly ledge them. They're jumping up, so I'm going to drop and ledge them again so I can get some free damage on the commons that didn't drop. I'm going to shout because I have it up, and I'm going to start going to town on these elites. I kill a good amount of them, which is great. But then I know there's another horde coming. So right there, I actually thought about going for a... right now, I'm out of ammo. So right here, I'm thinking about going for this ammo. However, I don't have my... It's kind of hard to see right here, but right now, I don't have my shout up. It's only about right here, I believe. Everything here is filled. Everything off to the right is empty. So I only have my ult up to right there. I do have a healing potion, but I also have no ranged, and I would have to reload. So I decide that it's not a great idea to go for it simply because of that. So I turn around and I decide to drop to ledge them again. I bait one Stormvermin into climbing. I take a little bit of a risk there going for a heavy attack, but I have a healing potion, so it's not too big of a deal. And right here, that was way too far. Holy crap. Right, I have to go a little bit farther. I shout, I drink the potion, and I immediately see them dropping from up here. And I know they're also going to be dropping up there from behind me, and I immediately realize I'm in a god-awful situation, because I'm playing a low-dodge character with no ammunition in the middle of an open arena about to be surrounded on all sides. So at this point, I am going to start working my way back to the left. I am going to start working my way back to this wall, and I'm going to do my wall strategy like last time. I'm going to put my back against the wall, and I'm going to move along the wall with my back against the wall so nothing can corner me from behind. And as you can see, because there's so much density, the Stormvermin really doesn't have a chance to attack me. The Berserkers are too far in the back, because this kind of goes back to what I said. This kind of goes back to what I said about putting yourself into a position where you control the Horde and the Horde doesn't control you. When I put my... I want to look to the right when I say this. When I put my back against the wall here, I am forcing all of the... kind of the trash enemies to push me first, and I'm leaving behind all of the Stormvermin and the monks and all the enemies who are truly dangerous. So right now, because there is so much trash, all of the attacking slots are filled up, so the Stormvermin and the monks don't have an opportunity to attack me. And along with the monks start their frenzy early, and they don't get that much ground covered, so they end up losing distance on me in the first place. So all that I really have to deal with right now is the Trash Horde. And as you can see, the left click on the Executioner Sword does have some pretty good stagger anyway. And as you can see right there, what I'm doing is I am doing right about here. right there, I start doing a light attack and then I block cancel it because I don't know where the monks are. And even now, like now, I really can't see them. I think there's one right here and I think there's one back here. But as you can see, I can't see where the monks are, and hearing the frenzy scared me. So what I decided to do was I decided to block cancel the first attack, not for DPS sake, but for the sake of if the monks suddenly come shooting out of the horde to attack me, I can immediately block and I won't be caught off guard. So right here, I'm not trying to do DPS. I'm trying to work DPS into my attacks, but I'm accounting more for the monks, and I'm putting myself in a situation where I can defend myself more easily by kind of doing this. And then at this point I realize, oh, the monks aren't really here, so it's not that big of a deal, so I drop what I'm doing. So at this point, the monks, as you can see, like right there, the left click, even though I don't think I got a headshot on the Stormvermin, did I? Right there. No, I'm not getting a headshot on that Stormvermin, and I'm still staggering him with my left click. So like I said, even if you have armored in the horde or shields, it's still okay to left click with specifically with the Executioner Sword because of how heavy its stagger is. And you know, if you hit headshots against monks and elites, you will still effortlessly cleave through them and be able to continue your cleave through the horde. So something really unfortunate happens here. So what I do is I decide that I need ammo right now. So I shout and I jump on top of these barrels to buy myself some time to get here, and I get there, and I thought at the time that I grabbed it, and I get about to right here when I realize, hey, I didn't hear the ammo pickup, and I realize I fucked up because I didn't get the ammo. So, and at this point it's too late. I don't have a shout, and I have nothing to help me to get the ammo, so I'm on my own. So as, right there, as you saw, the left click, I ended up aiming for that Stormvermin's head, and I kill him with just the left click. So I'm working in light attacks to protect, I'm working in light attacks to get some horde clear in and to keep them staggered. I'm working heavy attacks every so often to get a guaranteed kill. I go for that monk right there, but I miss. I'm working in shoves as I normally do. I'm right here. I'm not playing so much for damage, but I'm playing more defensively. Because, okay. Also, I want to point out, I don't know where the hell this monk is going. I guess that guy said, fuck you guys, you got it covered. We'll see you later. But, at the time, I wasn't really too concerned about doing damage. I was more concerned about the monks flurrying me to death. So I've been playing more of a passive role, playing more of a defensive role, but at this point, since I know there's no elites left, I can go more into an offensive role. And now I'm more worried about damage. So now I'm just going to shout right here to buy myself some time to actually get some ammo. And I don't have enough time to block, to reload, so I'm going to jump off to give myself time to reload. Once more, I'm going to get those heavy attacks in for those guaranteed insta-kills, because I want to kill them as fast as I can. And the best way to do that is heavy attacks with Executioner Sword. I'm also going to break his shield right there. And now we have Berserkers coming in. I'm going to ledge him. I'm going to ledge them once more. I'm going to try to jump up there and fail. And then rather than trying again, I'm just going to cut my losses and run. I hear Plague Amongst coming, so I know I'm not in a great position, so I'm going back to the wall. Am I? No, I'm not. I am deciding at this point, since there's... Oh, that's right. Since there's no armor, because it's really only Berserkers. Let me regain my train of thought. So normally when you have a whole bunch of armor like this, when you have like a Stormvermin or Chaos Warriors, you normally want to put your back up against a wall so they don't surround you, because you can't kill them quickly and you can't stagger them that easily, or you can't stagger them too much, and you can't kill them very quickly reliably when there's so much shit in the horde. But since there's no armored and there's only Berserkers, it's a lot easier to control them, because you can cleave through them with ease and you can kill them a lot easier than you can kill armored. So at this point, I don't feel the need to put my back up against the wall, so I just continue. My goal is to get back to the drop down. So I'm going once more back to the drop down so I can ledge them. I get a hit there, not that big of a deal. I get stuck and so right there, I actually didn't feel myself get surrounded. So right here, about right here, I get stuck. And I haven't started moving to the left yet, but I see there's one guy right here. And rather than waiting for myself to walk into a guy and see if I'm stuck, I just immediately make the split-second decision to shout and to save myself. And I range down that guy. I range down that monk in the distance because I want him dead. And right here, I see this guy about to hit me, but I don't change back to my melee weapon to block it because I actually want him to hit me. I want that ultimate refund. I want my ult to be up faster. And because the temporary HP gain with this with the Executioner Sword is so fast that it doesn't really matter too much. Now, what I didn't expect was those two behind me, those two to hit me behind. So once more, I'm doing the same kiting technique. I'm forcing them to climb up and drop down. See, I'm forcing them to ledge to the left to try to surround me, to buy myself some more time to get some more damage in. And I don't know why that's so laggy. So right here, I'm going to ledge them again by dropping off that. So like I said, when you're playing a low dodge character like this, you want to get some kind of rhythm going, or some kind of path going, where you're constantly ledging the enemies and you're constantly forcing them to drop. Because if you attempt to take on this horde at face value in just an open field, you will die. Because you will eventually get overwhelmed and you won't be able to block everything at once. So getting into a rhythm like this is absolute key. And always, making sure you have your ranged weapon reloaded at all times is another huge thing. Now at this point, the rest of this is just trash horde, so this really doesn't matter. But to just quickly recap, when you're fighting against really any horde, but specifically with a horde with elites and berserkers mixed in, the number one thing you want to do is you want to use your environment to your advantage. You want to understand what areas you have that you can ledge them in. You want to understand where the drops are. You want to understand where the barrels are. You want to understand if there's any quote-unquote cheese spots, any safe spots that you can use to your advantage. And you also want to understand what career you're using. You want to understand your strengths with the career, your weaknesses, what you can do, what you can't do. How risky can you be in your assessments? Do you have mobility? Do you not? These are all things that you strongly need to consider when you're about to solo a horde. And of course, you have to make these assumptions and you have to make these assessments in a matter of a couple of seconds because you need to be able to make decisions very, very quickly when you're having a horde come at you. But yeah, that's about it. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a thumbs up and leave any comments in the comment section. Oh god, that's weird. Leave any suggestions in the comments for any future video ideas you have. See y'all later. Peace.